Hey guys, this is Frenzy. Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with Vaux, castle level 14. So we'll jump into it on my knight. Still going to be pretty easy for my knight, but I'll be able to try to give a little bit of tips on things. The problem is you're a little low level, so there's not all that many options you have available to you yet. Alright, so it looks like a pull through the wall. I actually pulled both groups, I think. So that's good that you had that secondary group so close. The problem is, and I'll get into it a little bit more in a second here, once I eliminate the threats. The problem is with double pulls, you really want to have groups that are going to do damage together, right? You have this kind of tank group, and then you have a damage dealing group behind that. So the tank group is almost non-existent when you're fighting the DPS. Like, yeah, the Defendatron aura is kind of annoying, but if you had, say, a Scorpio flanking around with a Zeke, that's a lot more scary than a Robo Shieldatron and a Zeke, because they are both damage-dealing units. You have a higher chance of killing someone with like a double pull like that. And you should save your time waster groups for later parts of your castle where it's only one group possible to aggro. Alright, so a Pete Poundmore's good. We'll see what specialization that guy's on. Okay, he's on heal, that's good. So that's all fine. I think that this group could be pushed back a little bit farther so that I can't aggro it until I'm standing on the trap. That way your traps synergize a bit better. So you want them, instead of like standing right next to the trap, you want them back a little bit here and just have the aggro circle touching this corner. That would be a bit better. Alright. Alright, so a bunch of archers. The problem is this doesn't have a spotter, so I can see it before I get there. Knights don't have a great way of dealing with archers. They have to kind of pull back around the corner here and wait for the archers to come to them, and then it's a little bit easier. Oh, you have bear traps as well. That's pretty neat. The problem is it's not really going to do much against archers. You know, you're going to have a knight come in here, there will be bear traps everywhere, but an archer can still just volley them and wait for the bear traps to go away. So, I don't know. It would be better if you had, you know, a headshot or something here. Then here you have a skippable mob group. Either one of these is skippable. Yeah, it'll be a little bit difficult to skip them because everything's so close together. There's a chance of AoEing both. But I think that you probably want to move at least one of these to a different part of your castle. But your vision was good and stuff like that. Just those couple little things, and then obviously the one skippable mob group needs to be changed. And you should be doing a little bit better. So we'll jump to number 2 in just a second. Alright, and for number 2 we have Biaxident, castle level 15. Jump into it on my knight again. Same problem I'm a little like worried about, but if a castle like starts to go downwards, it's fine. But it starts off going up, so you know. There's 2 locations where the castle goes up, 2 locations where it goes down. Generally, it's best to start with it going down, obviously. That's actually like healing up pretty nicely. Overall, I think that like maybe leading with the Defendatron is a little bit of a mistake. I don't know what else you could lead with though, because that's like 5, 12, and then 3. So that's, you know, a 20-point group right there. Maybe you could just make it like back a little bit farther, so that, you know, it's not as long of a delay between the Cyclopses getting there. I'm gonna make sure that this group isn't skippable. If I go around this way, it shouldn't be. It should loop back right around into here. But it looks like it is skippable. No. This Bone Puppeteer should make it not skippable, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's good. It's a good delay group, I would say. The only problem with it is if you can, and I know you can, so you have like a bunch of derps and a snotter kind of grouping this all together. What I would do is eliminate one of the derps, switch it out with the Bone Puppeteer back here, so that in case they go around through this way, you won't have the bone puppeteer like so far out in the open. You want to have him probably like at this point here, right? You have like your Defendatron here, one here, and then like two things down there. I'd have him in this room here. He's probably the least. And then turn him probably this way, like up towards the wall this way, and then have your Robo Shieldatron down this way so that he kind of comes in a little bit quicker. And maybe you can get it so this Defendatron or the Robo Shieldatron goes before him or something if it's aggroed normally. I don't know. There's little things that you could probably do. Ideally, though, you want him out of the way, and you want him to be, regardless, defended by the Defendatron. Having the Defendatron come first, you know, or at least have the area of effect still on the puppeteer. All right. Now, what am I seeing here? Because this room should be linear. It should just go through this way, and there should be a passage, but it looks like a dead end. So I'm a little confused, actually. So this is a dead end. So that means this entire room is just fake? So where does your castle actually go? This way. Interesting. I didn't expect that for some reason. Alright. Well, maybe... I think everything I said still applies, but maybe not? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, we'll continue. At least it's better that... I like this. This is kind of neat. You know, it's hiding under the rug. That's kind of cool. Little visual distraction. I mean, you can pretty much tell that there's a spike trap under there, but maybe someone who's newer won't be able to. I don't know. Alright. This Cyclops seems kind of weird to me, because I'm going to be able to kill it before this group actually gets around here. I would prefer it to be like a, you know, I know you can't fit it now because there's a Robo Shieldatron. I've said previously, though, and he actually gets stuck, but I've said previously that when you're doing these double pulls like this, where you're basically having a creature over here, and you're pulling it through the wall and having something walk around, and then your goal should be to aggro a group that's standing here, which there's no group standing here, right? So you're kind of... it's a weird situation, okay? I'll explain a little bit about double pulls just in general, really quick. So the goal of a double pull, right, is to force... There's two different outcomes of a double pull, regardless. Okay, so you aggro something that's here, it goes through the wall. Now, the outcomes that you should be looking for is someone stands around this corner and waits for the thing to come around. In which case, it doesn't really matter what mob group's in there, the slower the better, I guess. So this would be fine in that circumstance. Your secondary circumstance would be that they're trying to rush through the castle. Maybe they don't have much time left, like I do, and they're rushing, and they end up aggroing a secondary group. You want those two groups to work together the best that they can and deal as much damage as they can. A Scorpio adds kind of a third outcome where they're waiting, but they're waiting in the wrong spot. They get pulled into the secondary group. I prefer the ones that walk around to be Scorpios, or at least have a Hungerbot with them. Preferably, I think, Scorpios, because if you have a lot of trash mobs like that, a volley will be devastating to you. So I hope that made a little bit more sense of why, like, with this walking around, it literally buys no time for you because I could just walk and meet it halfway because there's nothing stopping me from doing that. There's no, like, punishment for me to rush through your castle in that circumstance. Alright, so 2 medics might be a little bit too much. Just my opinion, I think. And also, like, the Bad Dog with only 1 Cyclops here to really make use of it, I think that's a waste as well. I'm not sure what you could do to change it, because you'd only have 3 points if you removed him. So you could get like 4 points by removing the Cyclops, adding a Defendatron, putting in, I don't know, there's not really much. I would probably remove one of the, remove the Bad Dog and a Puppeteer and maybe put in another Cyclops or something as a quick fix. Or you could put a Defendatron in with like a spotter, anything like that would be okay, depending on what you need, I guess. Either more time or more damage. This group is fine. Scorpios, I don't think there's really any way to really screw up Scorpios, to be honest. They can be used better in certain circumstances, but I don't think there's ever like a bad Scorpio room. Because just Scorpios by themselves are good, so... Alright, this is an interesting one. What do I have to say about this? He is on AoE, which is pretty nice. It's kind of annoying when you're trying to DPS stuff down. I don't really mind this. I feel like I should not really like this, only because it's kind of a mixed room where you're buying time but then you're also trying to deal damage. But I can see it being annoying because of the AoE. I mean, it's not the best room, I don't think, but it's not really terrible either. It depends on really what you need, right? If you're trying to go for kills in your boss room, you probably would want to replace the Robo-Shieldatron with like a Scorpio or, you know, another Pete Poundmore, or, well, you probably couldn't do the Pete Poundmore, but you could do, I don't know, 2 Pete Poundmores and a Bad Dog or something. Or if you're going for more time, you could add in more tankier monsters, like replace the Cyclops with a Defendatron defending the Robo-Shieldatron. It really depends on what you need, but I don't mind it that much as it is right now either. Although I think it has mixed goals and stuff like that. But we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and for number 3 we have Shifterstorm, cast level 24. Same level as my archer, so we'll jump into it. So that guy's a little out in the open. I'm not sure what you can do with it until I see the group. Interesting. Yeah, I would say... Let me look over here. Yeah, I would say if you can move this back just slightly, probably in this area instead of like up here, because what you kind of want is you want me to get over both of these mouse wheel traps, then aggro the group, and then I get into a situation where I don't really have a reliable form of escape, and if somebody waits here for whatever group, they could be like dodging up and like to the top and the bottom like I do sometimes when I'm waiting for a group because I don't know if it's a Scorpio or something, so I'm kind of already moving out of the hook's range. Then they see a Mega Mutton, maybe they attack it, and then they could get hit by the mouse wheel trap, get knocked over, and then the Mega Mutton runs them over as well. So I think probably having it back a little bit farther so that they're already committed beforehand. That's good. That might kill me. Nope. I wasn't paying attention. And then the volley is just brutal. That was good though. That should have probably killed me. I keep forgetting to empty my inventory. Alright. Well, I'm gonna remember next time. Yeah, this was pretty good though. Make sure that both of the Cyclopses hit their stuns, and then the Jimbo was just about to hit me and I rolled out of the way, so anybody who doesn't have roll or a Knight would get hit by that as well. Pretty good. I would say if you can move these Stairmasters back a few hexes just so I don't see them and I'm able to volley them that easily, it would be a little bit better. The Dampener is a cool touch. Yeah, just a couple hexes back and that'll be good. This is a little obvious. You get to see this a little bit too early. Like, I wouldn't say that anyone's really gonna get pulled by this. So hopefully this isn't like you're opening into a really long chain pull. It's not though, so that's fine. So I'm a little bit wondering. Okay, so there was a what do you call it? A Snotter down here somewhere. This guy probably shouldn't be on bodyguard if you only have him in a group. Like, Snotters are pointless to bodyguard, right? I'm not sure where this Snotter was. I'm hoping this group wasn't skippable. You're level 24, so I'm guessing it wasn't. It was probably down here covering this or something. Alright, that's fine. This guy is a little out in the open. I'm not sure if there's anything you can do to fix that. I'll take a look in a second here. This group, like, by itself is kind of out in the open. I'm guessing you might have the same problem that I did last time, like before I switched up this room. I've recently changed, well not recently, but a couple weeks ago I changed the way that I did this room. It was actually because I ran Sir Hiss's castle, and he had it set up that way, so I kind of copied him. Okay, so yeah, you have the same basic thing. So what you can do is you have 3 groups in this room right now, and how you currently have it set up is you have one Scorpio who's being pulled through the wall over here, and then you have this group down here, and then you have this one. So the possibility of a 3 pull is kind of there, but not really. Now I'll tell you what you can do is you can actually have this pull down over here. You can have a secondary mob group like right around here that pulls down in this area, like right below me into the right below this picture down there, and then you can have this one as well. And that way everything in this room can be just spotters, and all of your big damage healing and support units can be blocked. The only problem is I don't think that this group here had a spotter. You had like 6 points, 12. That would leave 2 points left, so you should have room for a spotter for that group, so I think it'll be fine. And that actually sets up better for a triple pull than you have currently, and you'll be surprised by the amount of people who will fall for your double pull that's like here and here. And then also, this wall is brutal for that sort of a pull. If somebody pulls this group down here and this group over, like way over here, trying to do that without going off my monitor, this one and then this one, I guess you have another mob group here. Hopefully you can like fix that so it'll work. This corner right here will be brutal, so you might want to put in like a ballista trap or a rotating cannon or something like that. Alright, let's see what this actually does, because it might screw up the entire design I was just saying about. I think you could probably move that over though. I don't think that would be too big of a deal. Oh, this snotter's actually something completely different. Interesting. I'm gonna skip it so that I can kill this Zeke. Alright, so you have kind of another double pull setup here. This one's a little bit more unique. I haven't really seen this done. Kind of because you're using like the between part of 2 rooms to do it, so it's kind of like, you know, unique to whoever puts rooms in this specific pattern. The double pull itself, Pete Poundmore plus a Zeke is pretty good. The only problem is your Zeke's a little wide open if they skip this mob group right over here. If they skip that snotter. Maybe you could move the Smelly Warrior in front of, or the Smelly Archer in front of the Zeke. That way it takes 1 shot. This is kind of a weird setup though. I don't see how this would ever get, how anyone would ever get pulled by this and actually hit this trap. It's not like angled properly. I guess you have this guy. So maybe a knight comes over and starts to attack this guy, and then you get pulled on top of that. Either way, it's not like the biggest deal in the world. You could probably even switch it out for just a normal trap, just because it's Scorpio plus 2 Hunger Bots. Like, that's not really that crazy good of a combo. That was kind of annoying, but it put up his shield right when I was about to kill him. I didn't have mana, that sucked. Alright. Cool. Again, maybe you could switch this completely up if what I was talking about in the previous room is like not really doable like this. You could also have this Scorpio kind of pulled through the wall over here, just because this is the part of this room where it's going up and you can see him, but it's not the biggest deal. And then we have the boss room. 2 muttons and Scorpio. Okay. How do I want to deal with this? Probably kill the Scorpio first. Muttons aren't all that dangerous by themselves, but of course I hit the mutton, so this might get a little bit more tricky now. Alright, ended up killing the muttons. It's a good boss room though. It's pretty annoying if somebody, you know, activates both the muttons like I did and leave the Scorpio alive. If that Scorpio gets a hook off and like the mutton's just about to charge, it's pretty much game over for that guy. So pretty good boss room. Not too bad of a castle overall. With that, that's number 3, so we're gonna end the video here. If you guys enjoyed, I do please subscribe, leave a like. If you want to be a part of ViewerCasts, you can add me and create a challenge if you're like really low level and you want to create a challenge where my character is the same level as your castle. It'll take a little bit longer, but it's a good way of doing things. And then you could email me is another way. Email me at frenzycastleruns. Give me your in-game name. You could leave a comment on my castle or leave a comment in one of the videos. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.